Kyrie Irving is no longer with Nike. Instead, he signed with the brand Anta, a brand that I was actually really happy to see him sign with. That has been one of the best brands overseas as far as like from when I started testing and reviewing their shoes like almost 15 years ago up until now. They've just been the best, like, what would you call it? They've had the best growth, their products and everything. Like their products have evolved so much so quickly, especially since signing Clay. So it was really nice to see him sign with them. And if you were wondering what shoe he was wearing, it was these guys right here. This is the Anta Shockwave 5. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. While this is not Kyrie Irving's next or new signature sneaker or first signature sneaker with the Anta brand, it is the shoe that he's wearing for now, even though I did buy the wrong one. I'll explain in a minute. But again, like I was saying before, it's the Anta Shockwave 5. There's two models, this one being the regular one, and it's an outdoor shoe. However, the one that he is actually wearing, the one that I thought that I was buying, but I didn't, but very similar, that one would be the Shockwave 5 Pro, and it just has a different outsole and it's made for indoors. So if you're an outdoor player, grab this one. If you're an indoor player, grab the Pro and you should be good. Before we get into the shoes though, I just wanted to shout out to the box. The box is awesome. What do you see, man?
Everything you need to know.
It's amazing. Now, as far as this shoe is concerned, this is the outdoor version. Like I was saying before, make sure that if you go and find this shoe online that you are looking at the outsole, okay? There really is two different versions of the shoe. If they're not labeling one as Pro, the outsole is the main way to know. So this outsole right here even looks outdoor friendly. It's flat, it's really thick rubber. It's also firm rubber on top of that. So this is gonna be a great outdoor setup for durability and grip. They even have the rubber kind of like move up to the toe and everything. This is a shoe that I do find very interesting, especially with the signing of Kyrie, because this is a Kyrie-esque sneaker. But they didn't just make this, like just because they just signed him. It wasn't like that. They already made this shoe. This is the 5th version in this line. So it's not a new thing or anything like that. They didn't make this specifically for Kyrie. I think what they're doing though, is they're making Kyrie-like shoes because they know that people buy them. Kyrie's shoe was the best-selling shoe with Nike. His shoe was a hot seller, bro. All of them. The lows, the regular shoes, the fly traps, all of that stuff, man. People just love his footwear. So hopefully the deal with Anta is gonna make that easier for US customers to buy this product now. You know what I mean? That's what they said that they want to do. They want to enter the US market officially with his product. They've tried it multiple times with Klay Thompson, whether they put his first shoe at the Bay Area Champs stores and have them be like Champs exclusives. They just never sold. Then they tried it again and they had it over at like Nice Kick Shop and Shoe Palace. Again, didn't sell. Hopefully this is the one that sticks. So in addition to the durable rubber that you see on the outsole, like I was saying, it kind of rolls up and you got that toe drag area right there on the toe. So it's awesome. Great for indoors or outdoor players. It's on both versions of the shoe. Inside of all of that rubber is actually their nitrogen infused cushioning system, and it is full length. It feels and looks like an eTPU. I believe it's more of a Pebax, but it tapers off a lot right here in the forefoot. So you're sitting very low to the ground. If anything, the court feel in this shoe feels amazing, but you still have lots of cushion underfoot despite you not being able to feel like that bounciness and everything. Some people don't like that. Some people feel like it makes them feel unstable, which is completely valid because that's how I feel sometimes. But in the heel right here, you can see that it's a lot thicker and everything, so you got tons of impact protection in that section of the foot. The lateral side is covered up with TPU, so that's a support cage right there. We've experienced this ever since the whole Crazy Explosive and Harden Volume 1. And so yeah, if you like that feeling of having cushion but without sacrificing any court feel or mobility, you're probably gonna love these. One of the best features of the shoe that really blends Kyrie's old shoes to this shoe right here is actually when you look at them from that front angle and everything. This was something that I noticed right away when I put the shoe on, but this whole medial side of the forefoot is very sculpted in a rounded way, so it's lots of mobility motion, you know what I mean? So if you watch Kyrie's footwork, the way that he crosses and plants is just like this. He's very light on his feet, but you don't wanna ever have to sacrifice a wide base for that because that's a lot of your stability, that's a lot of your lateral support on harsh stops and movements. Like if you're going to stop this way and then roll and push off and go into your whatever you're doing, your lays, your switch ups, all that stuff, you still have that there. You got a nice beefy outrigger. It moves out to the side. It's flat, but then that medial side is curled. So again, it's got lots of support on this side and then mobility on that side. So he's able to keep himself stable and then push off and just kind of like go and rock with it. It's a very cool setup. It's very smart on top of that. Like, this brand really pays attention to what players like and what players need. So this is one of those brands that I highly recommend if you're going to try something outside of the normal wheelhouse. Now, the materials are not my favorite thing. I'll just be upfront about that. I love materials, like good materials. Like, I'm talking about raw materials. I like leathers, suedes, nubucks. I even like synthetic versions of those things for performance, as long as they feel like the real deal. This right here is not any of that. This is a very plasticky feeling shoe. I do believe that the pros are going to be slightly better feeling, but not by much. Again, this was built for outdoors, so they really coated everything in like TPU and rubber. So you've got a ton of fuse despite all of the mesh that's in there. So you got a lot of ventilation and breathability, which is fantastic. But all of this mesh that you can see is actually like coated in like this plasticky look and everything. So it makes the shoe almost look kind of wet, like a Symbiote. You love me! And then they do have lockdown flaps or straps right here at the almost midfoot area, which I do think is a very cool feature. I love that that's on a shoe no matter what brand it's from. The tongue is very interesting. It's kind of asymmetrical, at least where the pull tab is. So even though the tongue itself is actually rounded, the pull tab is over on the side, so it stays out of the way. It doesn't press up against your ankle. Another smart move. It's something that basketball players will appreciate. And you even can stick your finger in that little hole, so it's like a pull tab as well without having to use that pull tab. So I think that's kind of cool too. Also, the back of the shoe right here is sculpted away from your foot, and then inside there's actually lots of sculpting and heel notches, so you're going to have a nice secure fit back there. But because of that sculpting outwards, it's not going to rub and chafe your Achilles and your heels. I will say the heel counter feels like it could be a little bit more firm, but it's not a huge deal or anything like that. The shoe fit like a glove. Go true to size, by the way, if you were interested in these guys. What I would do is go with your Euro size. It's probably like the best thing, or your centimeter size. I also forgot to add that they have a lot of support on the bottom. Not only is there TPU down there, but there's also a carbon plate as well. And while you can't see it in this particular colorway, you can kind of see it poking through the little holes in the outsole right there. There's actually another TPU panel right there in the forefoot. They actually say that that's a crossover TPU panel. So basically it's supposed to act like a spring plate. So again, when you have all that support on the lateral side where the outrigger is located, put all that pressure and force, and then you move and torque over onto your medial, it's supposed to spring you forward and just make you just like feel like you're flying on the court and everything. So they really make shoes for players, which is dope. Bigger brands tend to make shoes for just mass consumers and mass profit sharing with their shareholders. It's an unfortunate part of things, but you know, that's just kind of where the business has ended up or evolved to. We as consumers have all the power in that sense. So if you don't like that, go with something like this. Vote with your wallet. In case you guys are wondering, this is the insole. It's not super great, but it's also not a complete piece of shit. It's actually very comfortable. So if you like overall comfort within the shoe, especially since the shoe has plenty of support features already built in, I think that this is going to be just fine. If you do need elite level support though, like I said, even though all of it's already built in there, there's carbon fiber, there's TPU, there's spring plates, all of that stuff. But if you just need more, you can always pull this out and put in an orthotic, put in any other insole that you want, like a Move insole that has a plate on the bottom. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do that. But this is definitely not comparable to the Nike Kyrie line, where there was either not a torsional bar or there was a thin little bar, like the little rectangle thing, and then only his PE gets all the good stuff. It's not like that. We get all the same that they get. So again, if you like that, vote with your wallet, man. I know a lot of people would complain that Kyrie's PEs got this, that, and the other, and that the actual shoe that we would go and buy on the shelves didn't have any of the stuff that his actual shoe had. Now's your chance to actually like be like, yo, I got my money where my mouth is. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted what he's wearing. This is it. Just not this one, the pro version. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Let us know what you think about these down below in the comment section. We will catch you guys on the next one. So until then, have a good one.